question about academic freedom for teachers in China. You're a Chinese student.
Yeah.
You went to school in China. So how do you feel about academic freedom for teachers in China?
In China, the academic freedom, I don't think the teachers have lots of academic freedom in class. They have something they must teach and something they can teach.
What can't they teach?
Like, we are the party, the political party, the main political party in China is the Communist Party, and the teachers should follow the idea of the political party, and they can teach something that's too extreme and against the idea of the party.
Have you ever taught a controversial topic in China?
Yeah, I have actually. My first year, before I got to China, I was warned to not mention Tiananmen Square to anyone. The protest in 1989. And I was teaching History 12, and it was part of my learning outcomes, and I had to make a decision on whether to teach it or not. So I decided to ask the kids. I asked the kids if they knew about Tiananmen Square. Some of them sheepishly put up their hand, and some of them were looking around. And then I asked them, and I said, like, what's the deal? And they said, well, we know about it, but we've never learned about it. Okay, were your teachers allowed to teach whatever they wanted?
Not really.
What were they not allowed to teach?
Like some to against the communist, like our country like says some bad things to president.
So they said bad things to the president, and that's bad.
No.
Teachers could not do that. What would happen if they did?
Sometimes maybe the school will fire.
So then I asked them, well, do you want to learn about it? And they sort of looked around and they nodded. And I said to them, did you get in trouble if I teach you? And they're like, no, we won't tell anyone. You're in Chinese school? Yeah. Can the Chinese teachers teach anything they want? Or what sort of academic freedom do the Chinese teachers have in China?
I think most Chinese teachers now are because young teachers, I think they are less than the old teachers, and their mind is like constructive, and the structure of their teaching is kind of cannot be changed. So it's very hard for teachers to change, and I don't think they have too much ideas.
What would happen if a Chinese teacher taught about democracy, or taught about Tibet or Taiwan, and said that Tibet or Taiwan should be their own country? What would happen?
When they confront with these problems, most of the teachers would like to stand a position where support Taipei and Taiwan. It should be in China's control. But some of them don't give the students reasons why.
Just know that controversial issues change depending on where you are. What's controversial in Canada isn't necessarily going to be controversial in the country that you go to, and vice versa. So you need to be sensitive, and you need to know the country that you're going to so that you can address them in a responsible manner. I think if you, just like Pat Clark said, if you deconstruct the issue and then the arguments, and then look at the underlying assumptions of the arguments, and then to see how those arguments are eventually manipulated, you can't go wrong. What happens if they do teach something that's against the idea of the party?
Maybe in China, if the teacher, the internet is developing where this time, and if some people find out that the teacher is trying to teach something bad in maybe like punishment. I'm not sure because I haven't experienced something.
Right.
The teacher are afraid to talk about something.
Teachers would be afraid.
Like something is too extreme.
Right.
They always say like, I can't teach you about that, so forget what I said.
What would happen if a teacher taught something that was against the Communist Party, against what the Communist Party thought? What would happen to a teacher?
They will be sent to the government and have a chat.
Have a chat.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that teachers in China are set to a kind of a strict curriculum that they must teach. Not many input their own opinions. What I've noticed, is that not many actually will tell what they think of the subject or, a personal story and anecdotes about a subject. Whereas teachers from Canada, and definitely teachers from America as well, sometimes they will teach you something but then tell you, yeah, I don't think this is exactly right, or actually I read a story that was like this.
So they put their own personal.
Yeah, they won't make judgment.
Why do you think the Chinese teachers don't want to do that?
I think it's not so much that they don't want to do that, but it's more like they have never considered trying that. The way that they are taught to teach is mostly just get the knowledge in the students' heads.
Right.
Instead of teach them how to think, they're teaching them what they should think.
We got into talking about why they never learned about that and why the government might not want them to know about Tiananmen Square, and that ended up being a more powerful part of the lesson.